Welcome back, friends. Today I have a splits-focused class for you. I recommend that you grab yourself a set of blocks if you have them, and we're just gonna jump right into it. We're gonna start today's class in Shavasana. So finding your way down onto your back to a comfortable Shavasana for you. Now, once you find your way to Shavasana, if it works for you, place your hands onto your belly. You can intertwine your fingers or just lay your hands on top of each other. But with your hands here, start to take notice of the movement in your stomach as you breathe. As you slowly deepen your breaths, notice your hands move up and down just a bit more every time. This can be a great technique to use your physical body to guide your mind back to your breath. When you're ready, let's move into a little hug by bending your knees and hugging them up into your chest, wrapping your arms around your legs, giving a gentle squeeze. If you want, you can gently sway side to side, maybe massaging a little bit of your low back. If you want to draw circles with your knees here, you're welcome. Just slowly starting to get some movement into your body. Now from here, option 2, stay here if this is particularly comfortable, or we'll move into a happy baby. So flexing your feet, extend your legs up towards the ceiling. With your hands finding either your shins or the outsides of your feet, and gently starting to pull your feet and knees down towards the ground, towards your armpits. Again, some gentle swaying might be nice. Maybe alternating, pulling a little harder into one leg at a time. Nothing too hard here. We're just beginning to open up. If your happy baby is not particularly deep today, don't worry about it. Remember, this is the beginning of class. Not expecting your highest range of motion here. Take one more deep breath here. And whether you're in happy baby or just hugging your knees, on your next exhale, bring your soles of your feet back down to the mat, keeping your knees bent. Now extending your arms out behind you on your mat, palms down, reaching your fingertips towards your ankles. Place your ankles, you might need to do some adjusting so that they are hip width apart and just barely able to touch them with your fingertips. Coming up on bridge pose. So you might rock side to side just a little bit and tuck your shoulder blades underneath your chest, giving a little gentle extension in your upper chest. Pressing firmly into the mat with the soles of your feet, your legs, all the way through your arms into your palms. Inhale to prepare, and exhale, press firmly, send your hips upwards, bridge pose. Take a couple of breaths here. Engaging in your abs and glutes, sending your hips as far away from the mat as you can. Again, remember this is the beginning of class. If this isn't your deepest expression of bridge pose ever, that's all right. Honor where you're at currently. Take one more breath. And on your next exhale, release back down to the mat. Great job. We're going to take that again. Option 2, do the exact same thing, or step your feet a little bit closer to you. You probably just get your toes onto the mat. Kind of wedge your heels under your bum a little bit so you can grab onto more of your ankle. This will bring your bridge pose up a little bit higher. So again, either of those options. Inhale to prepare. And exhale, extend your hips up nice and tall. Strong, pressing through feet, hands, as firmly as you can, engaging through your glutes and abs, sending your hips as far away as you can. Breathing into the space in the back of your neck, creating length there. Take one more deep inhale. And exhale down to the ground. Beautiful job. You can release your hands and actually cross your feet and come all the way up through a seat and over to your hands and knees for tabletop. Time for a few cat-cows. So on your next inhale, bring your belly down, send your gaze up. Cow pose, pressing through your fingers and your palms all the way up through your shoulders. Take a breath here. And on your next exhale, curling through your tailbone, bring your gaze down, chin to chest. Back arches up, cat pose. Take a breath here. And as usual, we'll continue this a few repetitions on your own breath. Inhale, down, belly comes down to cow pose, gaze up. And on your exhales, curling your tailbone, chin to chest, cat pose. Again, on your own breath. And take one more. And wherever you're at, find your way back to a neutral spine. Flipping your toes, press your hips up and back. Nice and long spine, downward facing dog. Go ahead and walk out your dog, bending one leg at a time. And don't forget to breathe. When you're ready, inhale your right leg up and back, nice and long, and exhale, crunch it forward to the outside of your right hand, setting up for lizard pose. Once you find your position here, bring your left knee down to the mat. Top of your left foot comes down. From here, you might need to do some adjusting of your stance. Pressing gently into lizard pose, sending your hips down towards your mat. Feel opening through the top of your left leg and the bottom of your right leg. If you need a little bit more here to feel a stretch, you can always step down onto your forearms. We'll take one more breath here, and getting ready, curling your left toes back under, bring your left knee off the mat, and send your right leg back up nice and long, three-legged dog, exhaling it back down to the ground, downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths. If your knee that's on the mat is feeling any discomfort in your lizard pose, you can always roll up your mat or grab any sort of fabric to give yourself a little bit of a cushion. Getting ready for the other side. Inhale, send your left foot up and back. Exhale, crunch it forward, stepping to the outside of your left hand. Again, maybe taking some adjustments in the length of your stance. Bringing your right knee to the mat, top of your right foot. Find your way into lizard pose. Pressing very gently your hips down towards the mat. And breathe. Neck is nice and long in this pose. Gazing down or slightly in front of you. We'll take one more breath. And when you're ready, exhale, flip your toes under on your right foot and send your left leg up and back. And return to the ground, downward facing dog. Take one more breath here. And on your next inhale, send your gaze between your fingers and slowly walk your feet up to meet your hands, pausing in a forward fold. Now pressing firmly through your feet, rise up, sweep your arms up wide over your head, gazing through your fingertips, extended mountain, and exhale, release, sweep your arms back down to your sides, mountain pose. Great job. Now that we've got some movement into our bodies, we're going to turn up the heat a little bit with some sun salutations. Beginning with sun salutation A, we'll walk it through slowly first and then take it a little bit faster. So find yourself in your mountain pose, feet planted firmly on the ground, pressing evenly through all four corners of both feet. Shoulders stacked over hips, stacked over ankles. Palms at your sides facing forward. When you're ready, inhale, sweep your arms up wide, all the way above your head, gazing between your fingers, and exhale, hinge at your hips with a long spine, forward fold. When you're ready, bring your hands to the mat or your shins, rise halfway up, and straighten through your spine, sending the crown of your head away from your hips. On your next exhale, fold back forward, plant your hands down, and step your feet back, downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Now setting up for high plank, hips come down, shoulders come forward over your wrists, and bringing your knees down or full chaturanga, lower down to your belly. Inhale, starting just with cobra, press halfway up, using your arms to support your back muscles. Exhale back down. Flipping your toes, come back up through tabletop and all the way into downward facing dog. Inhale, send your gaze to your hands and slowly walk your feet back up to meet your hands at the top of your mat. Find yourself in a forward fold. If you need to bend your knees here, go right ahead. And finally, once again, pressing firmly through your feet, rise up slowly, arms sweeping out to your side, coming all the way up over your head, extended mountain, Exhale, sweep them down, back to your side. We find ourselves back in mountain where we began, sun salute A. Great, now we're gonna take that a little bit quicker. One breath to one motion. Take a breath and prepare. And on your next inhale, sweep your arms up, rise extended mountain. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Inhale, come forward, high plank. Exhale, lower down to your belly. Inhale, cobra, or you can come up all the way to upward facing dog. And exhale, coming through tabletop or straight to downward facing dog. And breathe. Take one more nice deep breath. And sending your gaze back to your fingers, make your way slowly walking your feet up to your hands. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, sweep your arms, extended mountain. Exhale, hands come back down to your side, mountain pose. Great. We're gonna move on to sun salute B, which is mostly the same, just adding some stuff in the middle. So we'll take it mostly at that quicker pace, one breath to movement, one breath to one movement. We'll slow down for the new parts. So find yourself back in your mountain again. Take a couple of breaths to prepare. Inhale, sweep your arms up, extended mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, downward facing dog. Inhale, send your right leg up and back. Here's where we differ. Exhale, crunch your knee up, place your hand, this time your foot between your hands, setting up for a crescent lunge. You can spread your feet a little bit wider right to left to help your balance, having just the ball of your left foot on the mat. When you find your balance, press up into your crescent lunge. Right knee is bending, left leg extending long and strong behind us. Hands can come to heart center or up above our heads. Take a breath here. Now, transitioning into low lunge, bend your left leg so you can bring your left knee to the mat. Flip your toes so the top of your left foot is on the mat. And make any adjustments to your stance that you need to find yourself in a low lunge. Sending your hips down towards the mat, just like in lizard from before. If you need blocks here for support, you can also support on the top of your knee or just be free here. When you're ready, press your hips back, straighten through your right leg, coming to a half split. Feel that stretch through the back of your right leg. Now you can change the stretch completely wherever you are by leaning further back into your hips or coming up or down with your torso. When you're ready, rock back forward into your low lunge, preparing to come back all the way up to crescent. So flipping your left toes, bringing your left knee off the mat, rise back up, crescent lunge. Might need to make some adjustments to your stance. Exhale, bring your hands back down to the mat, framing your hands. Send your leg up and back, three-legged dog. Release your foot to the mat, downward facing dog. Great, now same thing on the other side. Inhale, send your left leg up and back. Exhale, crunch it forward, stepping between your hands. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Take a moment here. And when you're ready, you can brace with your arms or come straight down, right knee to your mat. Top of your right foot comes to the mat. Find your way into low lunge. Grab myself some blocks so I can extend up with a strong straight spine. When you're ready, press your hips back, straighten through your front left leg, half split. And breathe here. If you have any pain in the back of your left knee, give a little bit of a bend or back off a little on your stretch. Now, send your hips back into low lunge. Flip your right toe. Bring your right knee off the mat, straight back leg. Inhale, extend, crescent lunge. Exhale, bring your hands to the mat, frame your left foot, and send your left leg up and back, three-legged dog. And finally, come back to the mat, downward facing dog. Now that is our whole extra additions from our Sun Sal A. So from here, inhale, high plank, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, flip your toes back to downward facing dog. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Sending your gaze between your hands. Walk your feet up to meet your hands. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, press to your feet, rise up, extended mountain. Exhale, release down, mountain pose. How is that? I'll admit that's a bit of a modified sun salutation B. We'll take it one more time. Take a couple of breaths to prepare. You can always go grab water or anything you need. Finding our strength in our mountain pose, gentle engagement. On your next inhale, sweep your arms up, extended mountain. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, rise, halfway lift. Exhale, step or hop back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, crunch forward, place it between your hands. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, come to low lunge, bringing your foot to the mat. And take a breath here. Inhale, send your hips back, straighten through your right leg. Exhale, curl your toes, lift off your back knee. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Nice and tall. Exhale, plant your hands, step back. Leg sweeps back and up, three-legged dog, and returning to downward facing dog. Great job. Last time on your left side now. Inhale, send your left leg up and back. Exhale, crunch it forward, plant between your hands. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, lower your back knee, top of your foot, sink into your low lunge. Take a breath. Inhale, send your hips back, straighten through your left leg. When you're ready, curl your right toes, press back up. Inhale, rise, crescent lunge. Exhale, fold, plant your hands on the mat, send your left leg up and back, three-legged dog, and return to the mat, downward dog. Great job. Take a few breaths here. Don't forget, focusing on your hands a little bit, pressing evenly through your fingers and palms, pressing the mat away from you. Nice and long from your fingertips all the way to your top of your hips. Inhale, send your gaze forward, step or jump your feet to meet your hands. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms sweep up, rising to extended mountain, pressing through your feet nice and long. Exhale, hands come to side. Great job. How is that? You feeling a little warm, hopefully? Give yourself a little bit of a wiggle. Any foot or wrist circles. Grab a drink. And we'll get ready to come back into our first extended standing pose. So find yourself back in mountain pose. Nice and strong through your legs all the way down to your feet. Send your weight slightly into your right leg until you can bring your left leg off the mat, sweep it back nice and long, find your crescent lunge legs. Beautiful. So bending into your right leg, extending your left leg nice and strong. Rise up, send your hands above you. And we're gonna go for a little bit of a back bend focus here. So keeping nice and strong through your legs, pressing your feet away from each other slightly. Bring your hands slowly and gently back. So you have opening in your chest and a gentle back bend as far as is comfortable for you. You can gaze forward or up between your hands, although that's quite the balance challenge for some people, myself included. Take a breath here. Exhale back to your neutral crescent lunge. And sending your weight into your right leg, step back up into mountain pose. Give a little shake to your legs and get ready for the other side. So back to mountain pose, sending our weight this time gently over to the left side, stepping your right leg back, nice and long, crescent lunge legs. Once you get your legs set, bending into your left leg, send your arms up tall above your head and gaze either forward or through your fingertips. You want the balance challenge. Take an inhale to prepare, rise up, reach your arms nice and long, and exhale, start that gentle back bend. It's okay if you're not bending that much, just reach for it. Find a little bit of opening in your chest. Ooh. Embracing any wobbles. Take one more breath here. Sink a little bit further with your exhale. And return to your neutral crescent lunge. Sending your weight into your left leg, step back up, release your arms, mountain pose. Great job. We're gonna start the same way, only this time we're headed for warrior one. So I want you to be aware to take a much smaller step this time. In our mountain pose, send your weight to your right leg, lift your left leg off the mat, step back, planting this time your whole foot on the mat in a much smaller stance. Your left toes pointing towards the corner of your mat, right toes pointing forward. Prepare here. Take an inhale, rise up through your arms, nice and long, and exhale, bend into your right leg. Warrior one. Once you're here, you can adjust your stance to exactly what feels good, so you can have your whole back foot on the mat and your left leg straight, right leg gently bending. Gaze again can be forward or up through your fingers. Take one more nice deep breath. And exhale, bring your hands down and straighten through your right leg, keeping your feet where they are. Setting up now for pyramid pose. Bring your hands to your hips. Notice that they're both square, facing the front of your mat, nice and even. Pyramid pose is a fold from here. So inhale, straighten up through your spine, crown of the head, reaching for the sky. Exhale, keeping your hands on your hips, fold with a straight spine as far as you can. Stop where you stick. Might not be very far. Take a breath here. And exhale, let your spine bend, fold over, nose to knee. Someday, if you want, you can grab blocks to extend your arms and reach for the ground. Let your head and neck hang heavy, reaching towards your knee. Pressing strongly through your feet and your arms if they're on the ground, rise back up, all the way up to a neutral spine. Step back forward into your mountain pose. Same thing, other side. Nice and strong mountain pose. Sending your weight into your left side. Step your right leg back this time. Again, a smaller stance than crescent lunge. Right toes pointing towards the right corner of your mat, hips square forward. When you're ready, bend your right knee, sinking into your warrior one. Arms extend up nice and long, gaze forward or up. Feel your feet resisting away from each other. And breathe. Inhale, reach your hands nice and long. Take one final stretch here. And exhale, keeping your legs where they are, straighten your left knee, bring your arms down, preparing for pyramid pose. Bring your hands to your hips. Check once again if they're square to the front of your mat. Notice if you're doing any movement. If you're opening up to the side, go ahead and shorten your stance just a bit. Give that a try. See if that helps. Setting up for pyramid pose, extending nice and long through your spine. Inhale, reach the crown of your head up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold forward with a straight spine as far as you can. Might be different on this side than the other side. Take a breath here. And on your exhale, fold forward, bringing your hands to your leg or blocks or the mat. Pyramid pose. Notice if you're sending your hips off in either direction. Try to correct that. And as always, pain in the back of the knee, back off a little bit. Take one more breath here. When you're ready, pressing back up nice and strong, up to a straight spine, and step back into your mountain pose. Give your legs a little bit of a wiggle. And move your blocks out of the way if they are. Coming into a gentle ragdoll. So forward fold, allowing your knees to bend as deep as you need so your torso can rest on your thighs. Allowing your head and neck to hang heavy, arms draping down. Hands can grab opposite elbows. And you can take a gentle sway. When you're ready, plant your hands on the mat and bend further into your knees, bringing your bum to the ground. Scoot a little bit back on your mat so your legs have room to extend out nice and long in front of you. Now, should have brought my blocks with me here. We're going to be doing some seated forward folds, Paschimottanasana. If you know that you have particularly tight hamstrings and a seated forward fold is particularly difficult for you, you're always welcome to bend your knees. But I would also recommend giving a try to sit on a block, which will actually slightly open up your angle here and make a seated forward fold possible for you if it isn't already. So wherever you're at, send your legs out in front of you, flex into your feet, and extend nice and strong through your legs. Inhale, send your hands up, nice and long and straight through the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Allow your spine to bend, collapsing over your legs. Your hands might come to your shins, the mat, all the way past your feet, wherever you find yourself. Let your hands rest. On your next inhale, reach through the crown of your head, lengthen a little through your spine, and exhale, fold back down. See if you get a little bit deeper. On your next exhale, walk your hands up the mat and come back to a neutral spine. Give your legs a little shake if they need it. And keeping your right leg where it is, bring a bend in your left leg, bringing the sole of your left foot to the mat. hugging your knee and leg up tight. Preparing for some seated twists. Bring your hands to heart center. We're going to take these twists purely from the muscles in our torso. So no assisting with your arms or elbows. Inhale, extend nice and long through your spine. Exhale, twist to your right. And breathe here. With each inhale, lengthen up further into your spine, and each exhale, sink just a little bit deeper into your twist. One more breath here. And on your next exhale, unwind, coming through center, all the way over to the other side. You might not make it as far on this side, and that's all right. Inhale, still reaching up nice and long through your spine. And exhale, twisting just a little bit more. You'll be surprised how far you can get with just the strength of your core. Take a breath or two here. And on your next exhale, release back to a neutral spine. Send your left leg long. Give them a little shake. And we'll head to the same thing on the other side. Bringing your right sole of your foot to the ground, hugging your knee in. When you're ready, hands come to heart center. Inhale, rise up through the crown of the head, long spine. Exhale, fold to your left first. Twist to your left first. Following the same thing. Inhale, reach up, long spine. Exhale, sinking a little bit deeper. Take one more breath here. And as you exhale, coming back through center, all the way over to your other side. You might have to bring your arms a little bit around your knees. If your arm happens to rest on your knee, that's all right. Just try to focus on bringing the energy from this twist all from your core muscles. No adding help with your arm. Spiraling your right knee inward. One more breath. Inhale nice and long. And exhale, release back to center. Great job. Send your right leg long. Give your legs a shake. We'll go for one more forward fold. When you're ready, inhale your spine, nice and long. Exhale, fold forward, collapsing over your legs. Arms fall wherever they land. Head down. Nose or chin towards your shin. Inhale, rise just a little bit, straighten through your spine a little bit more, and exhale, fold forward, maybe just a little bit deeper than before. Notice if you've relaxed into your feet. Give them a gentle flex. Take one more breath here. And when you're ready, pressing through your hands, rise back up and release your legs. Amazing. Crossing your feet, roll forward onto your shins. Grab your blocks. Keep them by you. We're gonna go for a camel pose next. I have two entrances for you here. If you're gonna use your blocks, start with this first one, bringing your blocks right beside your ankles. Plant your hands on your blocks. And inhale, press firmly through your legs. You might need to lift one arm as you get your hips through. Send your hips up and forward. Chest opening up into your camel pose. That's one entrance. Your other option is starting all the way up, standing up on your shins, on your knees, and using all of the strength of your abs to get you down into your camel pose. So taking your hands, thumbs in, reach them behind you. Using the strength of your abs, slowly start to back bend, reaching for your ankles until you find them. Find your camel pose. Now, whichever way you choose to get there, allow your head to hang back. Taking some deep breaths. You can send your hips farther forward, away from your feet for a deeper back bend, or bring them a little bit back towards your feet. Lessen it a little bit. Find what works for you. Take a few breaths here in camel. Can be a bit of an intense pose. One more breath. And exhale out the way you came. Either rising back up with the strength of your abs or sitting your hips down. Either way, we'll find ourselves back in a seat and ready to move on. Bringing your hands down to the mat, come into your tabletop pose. We're going to set up for our low lunge one more time. So from here, just step your right leg up, adjust your stance, find what works for you to come into your low lunge. Blocks if you'd like. Take a breath or two here. And when you're ready, bend your hips back, straighten through your right leg. Bring your toes off the mat, flex your foot slightly, half split. Spend a moment here. And then we're going to rock back and forth between those two poses, one movement per breath. So inhale, come back, rock forward, low lunge. Exhale, send your hips back, straighten your right leg, flex your right foot, half split. Continuing with your own breath. Inhaling into low lunge. Exhale, half split. Continuing at your own pace. Do a couple more. Stop when you find yourself back in a low lunge. Plant your hands and bring your right knee back. Find your tabletop. Same thing now on the other side. Step your left leg up. Might need to move your shoulder a little bit and make room for your knee. Find your stance. Rise up to your low lunge. Take a couple of breaths here. Try to stay nice and long through the spine. That's why I really recommend using blocks if you're not using just the strength of your abs. Don't want to be crouched forward. We don't get quite as much out of this pose for what we're going for. On your next exhale, send your hips back, straighten through your left leg, bringing your toes off the mat, flexing your foot, half split. And breathe. And just like on the other side, we're going to do one breath, one movement. Inhale, shifting forward into your low lunge, chest opening up forward. Exhale, hips back, half split, continuing at your own pace. Coming forward on your inhale, low lunge, and settling back, half split on your exhale. Do a couple more. Really feeling that stretch in the top of your right leg and the back of your left leg. When you find yourself back in a low lunge, stop here and find your way back to a tabletop and all the way down to a seat. Now is when we are at the peak pose. We are at our splits. I want you to take your time here, settle into the splits on each side. I'll walk through both of them, but if you need to pause and spend more time here, go right ahead. So we're going to come into our right splits first. Right leg forward, left leg back. Finding your way back to tabletop. Step your right leg up like you're going to go into that low lunge. Only this time, straighten through your right leg and use your toes to inch your leg slowly forward. Find where you can go no more. If you stop partway and you're not in a full split, grab your blocks back out. same as before, use them to put your weight on, straightening through your arms, rising up through your spine. You then have the power to bend into your arms as much as you want, much as works for you, to find the edge of your split. Find that edge and work on it. Notice, just like back in our Warrior One, notice if your hips are opening up to the side. They are. Back off a little bit. Go at it again with the straight hips and try to maintain those straight hips. You might be nowhere near as deep as you were with your open hips, and that's okay. Take a few breaths here, wherever you're at, lengthening through both legs, resisting your feet away from each other. When you're ready, can press firmly through your arms, hug your right leg back in, and come back to your tabletop pose. Like I said, if you want to spend more time on each side, go right ahead. We're going to move to the left side splits now. So stepping your left leg forward, back towards your low lunge, rising up on your blocks or just all the way with your strength of your core. Same thing, inching your left foot forward with your toes. You might be surprised at how different each of your sides are. Once you find yourself fully in your pose, take a moment again to check your hips, square them off, back off, and start again if they're really open. And breathe. Notice if you're holding lots of tension in your face. It's a hard movement, lots of work. A couple more breaths here. Sinking just a little bit deeper. When you're ready, hug your left leg back into your tabletop position. And send your hips all the way back over your ankles. Arms come out nice and long. Take a few breaths in child's pose. Releasing, relaxing into the floor. Forehead or cheek resting on the mat. If you want to take a narrow or wide leg child's pose, that's up to you. Also, feel free to sweep your arms around by your sides. Bringing your hands back up if they're behind you. Press forward, back up into tabletop. Cross your feet at the ankles and sit back into a seated position. From here, bring the soles of your feet together, knees extended out wide, Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. If you'd like, if your legs don't go all the way to the ground and they're feeling a little bit too much pressure from the weight of gravity pulling your legs down, you can always place blocks under your knees, just to the point where you can sink into this stretch without causing any pain in your hips. Rise up through your spine. Place your hands on your knees. Press the soles of your feet together. Take a few breaths here. Beginning to wind down after all the great work we've done. While we're in this pose, I want to give you a few options for whatever your body is hoping for right now. You can try all of the options, just one. You can also just stay right where you are. Option number 1, inhale, lengthen up through your spine. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Fold forward. Hands can come down to the mat. They can walk as far as is comfortable, holding all the way forward, allowing your head and neck to hang heavy. That's option 1. Option 2, your body is craving some twists. We can take more twists in this pose. Hands come to heart center. This ensures that you're twisting from your core muscles. Inhale, again, rising up, long spine. Exhale, twist to one side. Take a couple of breaths there. Exhaling back to center, and same thing on the other side. Option 3, your body's looking for a little bit of a back bend. Place your palms on the mat behind you, fingertips facing away from your body, placing them about a foot behind your bum. Pressing into your hands, roll your shoulders back. Send your stomach and chest forward. Chin back, gazing up behind you. Back bending here. Taking some nice breaths, opening up through the front of your body. So like I said, whatever your body is craving right now, whether that is just where we began in our neutral Baddha Konasana or any of those options, any combination, honor what your body is feeling right now. Bonus option 4. You can also tense your fingers out to the side, extending one arm long, sweeping your other arm up and over, following your fingers with your gaze. Take some side bends here as well. You have lots and lots of options. Whatever feels good. We'll take a few more seconds here. Taking nice deep breaths wherever you're at. Bringing all of your attention slowly back towards your breath. From wherever you're at. When you're ready, using the strength of your arms, guide your knees back up to center, bringing the soles of your feet to the ground, and give yourself a nice hug here. Can rock back and forth. Hug your head and neck in. Again, whatever works for you. Just pulling everything in. And exhale. Release that hug. Extend your legs out long in front of you. And take a mindful trip down to Shavasana, laying on your back. So as if you could go one vertebrae at a time, slowly roll down. You can resist your hands into your legs for some stability here. Bringing your head down to the mat last. Once you find yourself in Shavasana, you can take whatever form of Shavasana works best for you. You can also find yourself back where we began, your hands resting on your belly, feeling your stomach rise and fall with every breath. Allow your eyes to close if they haven't yet. And settle into your mat. Feeling everywhere your body touches the mat. Taking some deep breaths, feeling your belly fill up and fall as it empties. Let all of the work we just did really sink in. And take one final moment for yourself in this practice today. Now, keeping your eyes closed, bring a little bit of movement into your hands and feet, starting with your fingers and toes. Slowly letting it spread up into your arms and calves. Bend your knees, bring the soles of your feet to the mat. Hug your knees up to your chest one more time. Take some rocks side to side. And from here, you can either roll to one side and press your way to a seat. Or you can slowly, using your strength of your arms, roll up, bringing your feet to the mat and finding your way to an easy seat. Bringing your hands to your knees once you arrive. Take one more deep breath. Inhale together. And exhale, release. Blinking your eyes open. Take any little movements that you'd like. Thank you so much for spending your time with me on your mat today. I hope you had a great practice, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Namaste.